Good morning, leaders. Today, I'm going to discuss about production, cost, and industry structure. This chapter is the first of 4 chapters that explores the theory of the firm. This theory explains how firms behave. What does that mean? Let's define what we mean by the firm. A firm or producer or business combines inputs of labor, capital, land, and raw or finished component materials to produce outputs. If the firm is successful, the outputs are more valuable than the inputs. This activity of production goes beyond manufacturing, making things. It includes any process of service that creates value, including transportation, distribution, wholesale, and retail sales. Production involves a number of important decisions that define a firm's behavior. These decisions includes but are not limited to: what product or products should the firm produce? How should the firm produce the products? What production process should the firm use? How much output should the firm produce? What price should the firm charge for its products? How much labor should the firm employ? The answers to these questions depends on the production and cost condition facing each firm. That is the subject of this chapter. The answers also depend on the market structure for the products in question. Market structure is the multi-dimensional concept that involves how competitive the industry is. We define it by questions such as this: how much market power does each firm in the industry possess? How similar is each firm's product to the products of other firms in the industry? How difficult it is for new firms to enter the industry? Do firms compete on the basis of price, advertising, or other product differences? Illustrate the range of different market structure which we will explore in perfect competition, monopoly, and monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Number 1, we have identical product or perfect competition. Here are the definition of perfect competition and examples. Perfect competition is an economic term that refers to a theoretical market structure in which all supplies are equal and overall supply and demand are in equilibrium. For example, if there are several firms producing a commodity and no individual firm has a competitive advantage, there are perfect competition. Consider a farmer's market where each vendor sells the same type of jam. This is what we call identical product. Farmers and the other example is gold. Commodities like gold often trade in markets that are example of perfect competition. And number 2, monopolistic competition. Similar but not identical products. Here are the definition and the example of monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition exists when many companies offer competitive products or services that are similar but not exact substitutes. For example, hair salons and clothing. And sari-sari stores, drug stores, supermarkets are fit into the theory of monopolistic competition because they are similar but not identical products. And number 3, we have here the oligopoly. oligopoly is identical or similar products. Here are the definition and the example. Oligopoly is a form of imperfect competition and is usually described as the competition among few. Hence, oligopoly exists when there are 2 to 10 sellers in market selling homogeneous or differentiated products. A good example of an oligopoly is the cold drinks industry. Because cold drinks industry is cold drinks like Coca-Cola, uh, Pepsi products, or distilled water, they are identical or similar products. And number 4, we have here no similar product or monopoly. What is a monopoly? Monopoly is a firm who is sole seller of its product and where there are no close substitutes. For example, a local public utility is an excellent example of monopoly since it controls the entire market, and regulation provided by the government make it hard for new players to join the market. Yes, that is the exact example of monopoly, because no similar product, and the other, what you call that, and the other people cannot do that. Only those who has a power to do it, like the government, our local government. And next, we are going to talk about explicit and implicit cost and accounting and economic profit. Revenue is income from selling a firm's product defined as a price times quantity sold. Accounting profit is the total revenues minus explicit cost including depreciation. Economic profit is the total revenues minus total cost explicit plus implicit cost. Explicit costs are out of the pocket cost for a firm, for example, payments for wages and salaries, rent, or materials. Implicit costs are the specific type of opportunity cost, the cost of the resources already owned by the firm that could have been put to some other use. For example, an entrepreneur who owns a business could use her labor to earn income at a job. We can distinguish between 2 types of cost. We have 2 types of cost. It is explicit and implicit cost. Explicit costs are out of the pocket cost, payment that are actually made, wages that a firm pays in its employees, or rent that a firm pays for its office are explicit costs. Number 2, implicit costs are most subtle but just as important. They represent the opportunity cost of using resources already owned by the firm, often for small businesses. They are resources contributed by the owners. For example, working in the business while not getting a formal salary, or using the ground floor of a home as a retail store. Implicit costs also allow for depreciation of goods, materials, and equipment that are necessary for a company to operate. These 2 definitions of cost are important for distinguishing between 2 conceptions of profit. We have two types of profit. First, accounting profit and economic profit. Accounting profit is a cash concept. It means total revenue minus explicit cost. The difference between dollars brought in the dollars paid out. Economic profit is the total revenue minus total cost, which includes both explicit and implicit. The difference is important even though a business pays income taxes based on its accounting profit. Whether or not it is economically successful depends on its economic profit. Okay, calculating implicit cost. Let's take a look at an example in order to understand better how to calculate implicit cost. Fred currently works for a corporate law firm. He is considering opening his own legal practice where he expects to earn $20,000 per year once he gets established. To run his own firm, he would need an office and law clerk. He has found the perfect office which rents for $50,000 per year. A law clerk could be hired for $35,000 per year. If these figures are accurate, would Fred's legal practice be profitable? Okay. Step 1. First, we'll calculate the cost. We'll use what we know about explicit cost. Okay, explicit cost equals office rental minus law clerk salary. Explicit cost equals $50,000 plus $35,000. Explicit cost equals $85,000. Step 2. Subtracting the explicit cost from the revenue gives you the accounting profit. Accounting profit equals revenues minus explicit cost. Accounting profit equals $200,000 minus $85 is equals to $115 left. But this calculation consider only the explicit cost to open his own practice. Fred would have to quit his current job where he is earning an annual salary of $125,000. This would be an implicit cost of opening his own firm. Step 3. You need to subtract both the explicit and implicit cost to determine the true economic profit. Economic profit equals total revenues minus explicit cost minus implicit cost. Economic profit equals $200,000 minus the explicit cost $85,000 and minus $125. So the economic cost is negative $10,000. So if we think about it, Fred loses $10,000 if he going to open his own law firm office. So if I were Fred, I would rather to work than to operate my own law firm, because the expenses are too high, and I don't think I can gain from it. So Fred would be losing $10,000 per year. That does not mean he would not want to open his own business, but it does mean he would be earning $10,000 less than if he worked for the corporate firm. So imagine if Fred operate his own law firm, his salary $125,000 from the corporate firm will be decrease $10,000. So for me, I would rather to work in a corporate firm. And implicit cost can include other things as well. Maybe Fred values his leisure time, and starting his own firm would require him to put in more hours than at the corporate firm. In this case, the lost leisure would also be an implicit cost and would subtract from economic profit. That's all. Thank you.